Welcome to Influence Matters, the show where I talk with experts, entrepreneurs, and professionals who are turning their story into impact and their expertise into influence. I am Clara Rose, and I'm your host today. So today's guest is Ed Troxell, and Ed runs Troxell Creative. It's a strategic marketing consultancy for six-figure coaches and consultants. He specializes in helping established professionals break the referral ceiling through systematic, sustainable visibility strategies. His approach combines strategic thinking with practical executions. You know, I like him already. Participants always leave with something they can implement immediately. And when he's not helping coaches like us build authority, he is creating content, testing strategies, and exploring how successful professionals can show up consistently without sacrificing sanity, which, you know me, that's what I'm trying to preserve is my sanity. Please help me welcome Ed. Are you with me, Ed?
Hello. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And what a great intro. I'm like, let's take this show on the road.
9 years. No, this is my ninth year. So, yeah, I could probably do it in my sleep.
Yes.
Thank
I love
you
it.
for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here and talk with my audience about what you do. I'm assuming that there are a bunch of people in my audience who are coaches and professionals who completely need services like yours. So, I read your bio, but tell us what you really do.
Yeah. So I really help people be known for something. And typically that question starts with, what are you known for? And is it still serving you? Right? Like that's the deeper question that we need to ask ourselves, especially for those of us who are experts at our craft and we've been in business for several years. We need to be able to look at, what are we really known for? And is it still serving us? And so that's where I come in and help support with that communication and finding out really what that is and how we can better communicate that to our audience online.
I love that. Not many people um, think that way or stop and ask that question. You know, is it still serving you? Right? It's super easy to fall into the. I've been in business for 42 years, so I know what I'm talking about when I say it's easy to fall into a pattern, right? Of just seasons roll past and you don't stop necessarily to think about if what you're doing is still serving the end goal, right? Things
Yes,
change,
it's so
right?
true.
In
And that
business and
that's
life.
yeah, and that's what we have to constantly remind ourselves, especially for those of us, again, who are very referral dependent and have had that business
Mhm,
come in and we stay busy and we keep going. It's oftentimes we don't ask that question until it's too late or something has
mm,
really drastically
mhm,
shifted. So I try to get ahead of that with
mhm.
my clients.
That makes perfect sense. So, um, it's happening right now to a lot of people, right? We're in a trust recession, right? I hear people using that terminology because it's true. People are less trusting. The sales cycle, buying cycle seems much longer. People are way more meh, right? Inundated
Yep.
with the guru, everybody's a guru, right? And everybody who's ever, made their own ebook now is out there, teaching you how to be an author, right? So,
Yes.
like, uh, things have shifted and changed, and now we have to think about how our clients are coming in. Referrals are not coming in like they used to come in for many people that I talk with. The same story is true, not just in my own business, which has always been referral based, right? Referral dependent. Things are shifting, aren't they?
Yes, 100%. And we've seen that a lot in the last 6 months. I'd say 12 months, but more realistically, the last 6 months, where so many businesses, whether they're fresh in business or are seasoned with 10 plus years in business, they're all feeling that, and they're realizing that you do need to do more than just work. Sorry, you need to do more than just focus on your referrals coming in. Like, the referrals are great. We love that. And when it happens, it's awesome. but we need to be more proactive in our approach in today's marketplace and how we want to stand out. What do we want to be known for? What authority do we want to build online? Because, as you mentioned, it's not just starting on our website, for example. Like, there's different entry points, as you were mentioning earlier. And people can start on our website, but they can also start with AI and hit everywhere in between, from our website to social to our podcasts, right? Everything is an entry point. So we have to make sure that we don't just show up with a website or a social media account, but making sure that we tie those together and make sure that we're saying the same thing across the board so that we do become that person that people know, like, and trust for that specific thing that we can help them with. And then we can also get recommended in the AI searches, which is the big topic these days.
Ah, that's the new, yeah. So I've been looking. I actually had a couple people reach out to me. It's like, hey, we can help you get, found in AI search. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. So I'm just
Yeah.
learning that this is a thing. So tell us, explain what AI searching is. Explain what you're talking about for us old
Yeah.
people.
So yeah. Yeah. So in a nutshell, without getting
Uh,
too technical and deep, it's really thinking about how people are looking for things these days. So
mm,
before, we would just go straight to Google. It was pretty much a
mm,
one-stop spot, right? We thought about something,
mm,
we would go to Google, type it in, and boom, there's our search results.
mhm,
Yes, that still happens. And yes, I even still do that myself. But we now have the power of AI. Love it or hate it, it's here, and it's what people are using for various reasons. And one of those reasons is to search for things. So they may skip Google completely and go straight to ChatGPT and type in a
mm,
question, and then ChatGPT is going to give them a response similar to like what we see on Google search results. But the AI is acting different. It's not just based on our keywords that we've been told for SEO purposes to have. It's
right.
also based on questions and finding comparisons and being able to find the expert that's best suited for that specific
Mm,
problem that the consumer is having. So that's where it really helps when you start to think differently about, what do you want to be known for? What authority are you being building for your online presence here? So not just for your website to look good and sound good for when people come there, not just for your Instagram profile to
mhm,
be tidy, but for all the things, including AI, to be able to find you because you keep popping up. It's kind of like that broken record. It's like it constantly keeps playing the same song over and over, and you
uh,
keep hearing it, or you see that green car
mhm.
on the freeway, and now you're like, everyone has a green car. That's what we want for you and your business, because that's what's going to
Right.
get you conversions.
Now this is people speaking to something like ChatGPT or Claude or, Siri even, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Alexa, right? Those are all AI search engine, right?
They all will tie
Right.
into
Am
that.
I
Yes. And
understanding that?
and
Okay.
And even with LinkedIn
So
now, I saw a report about LinkedIn posts starting to show up in AI searches. So for those of you who love LinkedIn or
really?
haven't gotten to LinkedIn yet, you will
Hmm.
after today. Start leveraging that because it's going to
Interesting.
start showing up.
For sure. So posting on LinkedIn then is where they're gonna
Yes.
find you. Oh, yeah, I better get busy, get back to work because I was pretty regular for a while with LinkedIn. It just feels like it's such a grind, right? The whole social media, constantly posting feels like such a grind that at some point I just went, "Bleh, I don't wanna do this," kinda thing, but gosh, it sounds like it's so necessary, more so than ever
It
maybe.
Yes, it is. And I will say, for those who aren't on LinkedIn, because there's different reasons, of course, with social, and LinkedIn used to
Mhm.
be the platform only for buy or looking for a job or getting a job. It's
Sure.
changed.
Mhm.
So at the very least, I recommend everyone go update your profile, dust off that password that you probably haven't used in 10 years, and go update your profile. Have the words
Mhm.
in your headline, your bio, all the places. Just update it because at the very least, if you don't post anything, at the very least your profile is optimized and it can be found in search. And I
Okay.
have had clients who do not post on LinkedIn get clients from LinkedIn because the consumer
Mhm.
searched on LinkedIn and found their profile.
I found it interesting. Okay. Back to work I go. Now,
I know.
surely there's a software that does all this for you, right? We're in the software age. There's got to be tools that you have your clients use, or give us some good, juicy stuff.
Yes. So
Help us.
there are lots of tools out there, and right now the biggest one
Mhm.
that's got the spotlight is Claude
Mhm.
Cowork. It's all powered by
Mhm.
AI. And yes, there's
Mhm.
tons of tools out there that can do a lot of this work for you and help support you in it.
Mhm.
But the thing that a lot of people will do is they just want to offload it to the tool and expect the tool to do it for
Mm.
them, which it can.
Mm.
However, what we run into is we lose you, the expert,
Yes,
the
for
person
sure.
that we are trying to highlight and feature. So,
Mm.
with the things that we're talking about in terms of updating your LinkedIn profile or posting content to your social media or
Mm.
having the right words on your website, yes, leverage tools like AI, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you choose, leverage those, but don't just copy and paste. You want to copy,
Mm.
edit, and
Yeah.
then paste because you want to make sure that you are putting your voice, your tone, and your
Yeah.
thoughts into it.
Yeah, for sure. And I do tell my authors all the time, because people are not necessarily aware that you, because there's people actually out there saying, "Ah, just have ChatGPT write your book or Claude write your book." And I'm screaming, "No, don't do it." Because anything that you use those for is public domain. It's no longer copyrightable. So you cannot write your book using AI. It's not copyrightable. So
And
I think that
that's
you just
crazy.
have to be careful. It's an ideation tool only, right? Go get your ideas. It can help you get the juices going, get your brain working, right? And then from there, and maybe it can create the first draft, but not for your book, but for posts and things of that nature, that it doesn't matter that it's public domain. uh,
Yeah.
totally matters for your book or anything that you're going to publish, because all of those publishing arms have tools that look for AI generated content. If it
Right.
is AI generated, they will unpublish your book or whatever it is you wrote and kick you off the platform,
Yeah.
because you're not allowed to use
It
that without disclosing it.
exactly, and that's the thing, use it as a thinking tool and a thinking partner. It's an amazing
Right,
tool, and I mean, this
right.
is what I work with on my clients, like, when we're working on figuring out, like, what their "I help" statement is, and I know "I help" kinda can be cringe for
Mm,
a lot of people, so
right,
we can always change
right,
that depending on the piece, but that's kind of the well-known one, so I always start with that,
right,
but you can also swap that for "I'm hired by" or "I work with,"
right,
right? Like, there's
right.
different ways to go about that, and oftentimes, leveraging AI to help you formulate that sentence can be a game
Mm,
changer, right? There's
yeah,
prompts that I'll do
for
with my
sure.
clients to brainstorm and then leverage AI to help them get to that next level.
Yeah, for sure. It is a great ideation tool. I drug my heels for a really long time, right? For obvious reasons, because
Yeah,
that's
of
my
course.
industry is being affected. But when I finally dug in, I'm using Claude, but if I finally dug in and did some deep dive work, ideation work, it's impressive. It's really
Yeah.
impressive. It's a great research tool, right? So you can't 100% rely on it, because there's even the little disclaimer that says AI can make
Yes.
mistakes. And multiple mistakes, right, along the way. And I pointed out, and he's like, "Oh, you're right. I'm glad you caught that." Right? Right? So you can't rely on it 100% for things, but it's just a great research tool for stuff. It can go check stuff that's used to take time and energy to go check
Exactly.
yourself. So it's a
Yeah.
tool.
And that's the beauty
That's
too,
it.
is when you're thinking about content, especially when we talk about social media, you know, that's not always somebody's favorite thing to do. And so you can
Yeah.
leverage these AI tools to help support you with that. And I'll give everyone a golden nugget here, is that it's not just create a post for LinkedIn or create a post for Instagram.
Hmm.
Go a little bit deeper and ask it to have a storytelling format for your post.
Ah,
So that way it
okay.
helps invite people into the story. They're more likely to
I
pay
love that.
attention to your post, and they're more likely to engage with it.
Mm. Yes, because we're story wired, right? As humans, we're wired for story, right? So we're automatically sucked into, pulled into the story of something over just sales blurbs,
Right.
right? Right? Just one more
Yes.
sales post, salesiness that people don't, they just tune it out anyway. I love that. That's a great tip right there.
Yes,
Give me
and
a
be sure to
story
have a call
format.
to action. Yeah, have a call to
Mm,
action also included. That's a one big thing that a lot of people will forget. They'll have the great
mm,
post and they'll put everything together, and it looks awesome and it can even read great, and then at the very end, they missed the boat because they assumed
mm.
people would just take action. But we're consuming. We don't know until you say, "Stop, now go do this." Right? So make sure that when you're doing that, it's storytelling format and a call to action, and that will help strengthen your content.
I love that. Now, should you tell Claude or ChatGPT to include the call to action, or will it know what kind of call to action to give you?
Oh, great question. So you can test it, but I always say add a call to action. And then if it doesn't know what to put, it will put something. And that's again where you come in and edit and you say, oh, that's not what I want. I want specifically to drive them to my landing page or my quiz or whatever it might be, right? Like get specific. Just like we talked about in the beginning. What do you want to be known for? You want to get specific with that. The same thing happens with your call to action. If you're talking about something that you have a specific landing page for, you're going to send people to that specific landing page, not just your main website, because we don't want to get them lost. And people want to go directly to point
Mm,
A to B.
right, for sure. Right. I can't even tell you how many times I've landed on a website and thought, where do I go? Right. I don't
Yes.
know where I don't know where to go to get what I'm asking for. Right. And then you just get flustered and you leave, or you putter around and try to figure it out, or so that's frustrating. So that's a good point, right? Get them to the place where they need to be, so they don't have to wonder how to get there. That's a great
Exactly.
tip.
And also for those who are doing paid ads, make sure that you do the exact same thing we just talked about. Get specific, not only in the ad, but also the call to action, because these are the places that I see so many businesses go wrong. So make sure to remind yourself, get specific, send them directly to where they need to go. It's like Monopoly, go straight to go or
Mm.
home. I haven't played in a long time, so I can't
Right,
remember, but
right.
you know what I'm talking about.
uh, yes, go to boardwalk, go to wherever, right? For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are these the kinds of tactical things when you're working with people that you go through these kinds of things? Or um, if someone were to say, "Gosh, I think I need Ed," right? They would. Where would they start to connect with you, and then talk through maybe how that engagement might look with them?
Yeah. Great question. So, yes, you would definitely start by visiting my website, but you'll notice that there is a direct call to action about taking a quiz. So, I have a quiz to
Hmm.
help people that's free that people can take to help them self identify where they're at and really get results showing them what they should be thinking about now and where they should be going moving forward. So that helps them understand the diagnostics basically of like what's going on, and then it will help guide them to what comes next. For example, they might not be ready to work with me, so here's a resource that they can have to help support them to get to that next stage. Some might be in the ready now stage and they do need to start talking to me about working one on one. My primary engagement is working one on one with clients to help them not only figure out what they want to be known for, but also making sure that their communication throughout their marketing, from their website to their emails to their social, are all tying in together and making it a full ecosystem that flows. So there's different ways to go about it, but that quiz is really the starting point for anybody who's
Mm,
thinking
okay.
something here resonated. I feel like I should at least learn a little bit more about where I'm at in my business and this season of business that I'm in. That's where they can start, and then go from there, whether it's with me or other resources that I point them to.
Okay. Now, tell me, how often do you think somebody should revisit, like the quiz, revisit that question, right? Because that's, if you've been in business for a long time, a lot of years, like I have, right? You just get into these ruts. So, what's like a good rule of thumb to say,
Ooh,
okay, I need to stop? We're big planners, so every year we stop and look at, our 1 year goal, our 3 year, our 5 year goal, our 10 year goal, because we're nerds, right? So, is there a best practices for this kind of a thing where you stop and say, okay, where am I at? What's going on in my marketing, my messaging? What do you tell people?
yeah. I love that question, by the way. I have not been asked that question. It's such a good one. And
Leave it to
it
me.
is. It's important. Yes, no, it's so good because I tell people just in general, when I'm working with them, is like they should have a marketing meeting with themselves if they're the solo founders, or if they have a team, they should have a marketing meeting with themselves. And depending on where they're at in their business, and how long it's been since they last looked at their marketing, that meeting could be a couple times a month. That meeting could be once a quarter. I typically recommend not going past once a quarter for most businesses because things start to fall off the to do list there. If we start to push things, especially when it comes to marketing. So it depends on the business itself. But I would say making sure that when you are doing those check-ins with yourself, you are checking in on your marketing, and you're also checking in on, are we relying on one channel? And I'm going to say specifically referrals in this case. Are we really relying on just our referrals? And if so, that's a red flag, especially in today's market. That right now is a huge indicator that if that's your primary source of business, new business, you want to make sure that you go and take that quiz so that you can start to identify now what you should be preparing for and how you can set yourself up for success moving forward, so that you don't get into that pinch that a lot of my clients have been feeling and been forced to then make that decision to do something different while being under that stress. You don't want that. So,
Mm,
at the very least,
right.
every quarter you should be checking in with your business, and then of course depending on your goals and where you're at, and who you're working with, you can extend that timeline if you need to, but more frequent the better, because things, you can catch them
Sure.
sooner.
That makes sense. So when people engage with you then, what is the normal length of time? Is it like becoming a long-term thing, or is this like here's a strategy, here's a plan, and that's it? Or is there like a long-term, how does that work?
Yeah, so typically I'm working with clients in a 6-month engagement. And what happens
Okay.
is we go through a lot of different things in their business. So that's why it's 6 months. And then there's other things depending on where they're at that I can offer them, but that's the primary. And then in there, it's not just giving them the plan. So this is where I differentiate from other strategists, is it's not just helping you think and get the plan. It's also me coming in and helping guide you to the execution. So I've been blessed to be able to do both the thinking and the doing. And so a lot of strategists will just hand over the plan and say, here you go, good luck. And that's where a lot of clients will fall off, because they don't have someone to help guide them into that execution part, whether they're doing it or one of the contractors are doing it. So that's where I come into play and help support them in both roles so that there is a stream from point A to point B and all the way down to Z.
I love that because it's so in so many different places. That's true that you get this. Okay, here you go, right? Or here's here, go learn how to do this, and then you'll be good, right? And that's not what a busy business owner needs, right? They need someone to actually say, okay, here's the steps. Let me help you do that. Like, let me make sure that you have a resource or a guide, someone to call on so that you're not just flailing out there, floundering on your own, which uh, so much of the marketing world feels like that's true. Well, lots of different places,
Yeah.
not just marketing, but that's been my experience anyway. They're like, here, go. Go do X. I'm like, okay, well, it's going to take me a week to figure out how to do that because I got to go watch YouTube to figure it out.
Yes, and that's the thing.
Give me
That's
a
what I love
headache.
about this work. Yeah, this is
Mm,
what I love about the work that I get to do is that it's not just the plan and the execution, but it's what happens in between. I have my clients right before we got on this call. I have my clients who will send me their posts before they post them. Hey, this is what I'm going to post. What are your thoughts? Do I need to help reformatting this? Like we make sure that the communication is set up in a way that works. So there's that real time asynchronous support that I offer that helps because it's not just the task and completing it.
right.
It's what happens
Mhm.
in between that's the most important part. So that's the fun that I get to do with my clients.
I love that. Real help, real support for the journey, right? So missing in so
Yes.
many areas of our lives, the real help. Okay, so I can't remember when we first talked. Do you have a book? Have you written a
Ah,
book?
I do have one that was kind of just my test model. So I'm working on
Okay,
my next book, but it will be the real one that really
the
talks
real
more
book.
about
Okay,
the work that we're
your
doing
process.
here.
Okay,
Exactly. Yes.
and when can we expect that to come out?
Oh, such good questions. And see, this is what I love
Mm.
putting on the fire there. I like it. So I am hoping that it will be out at the end of this year. That's the goal. It
Okay,
happened last year at
okay,
the end for the first book, so we'll see about this one and getting it out by the end of the
okay.
year.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that. And if you get stuck and need help, of course, that is what I do. So
I was
call
gonna
on me
say,
if
I
you
know
need
who
some
to
support
call.
in that. Yeah. You know who to
Yeah.
call. All right. We are out of time, but I just want to say thank you, Ed, for taking time out of your busy world to be on the show and educate my audience about that next step that they might need to take. So, what is the website we're going to here?
Yep. You
What's
just
the
head over.
URL?
Yeah, just head over to edtroxell.com. That's ed,
So,
TROXELL.com. And you'll be able to find the
perfect.
quiz as well as see how we can work together.
Perfect. Thank you, my friend. All right, guys, if you're in the same boat as I am and in need of this quiz, head on over to his website, take the quiz. I'm going to do it myself, see where I am at. And then, of course, if you are looking to uh, get your book out of your head and out to the world so that you can build your influence for your business, ministry, cause, or brand, I invite you to go to craftingyourmessage.com and check what we have going on over there. Or if you are a faith based entrepreneur, business owner, professional, ministry leader, looking for a place to connect with free resources to get your book done, you can go to thesavvyauthors.com and get some free resources and connect with me there. I would love to help you bring your book to the world. All right, my friends, as always, thank you so much for showing up and supporting my show and for supporting my guests. Please check out Ed if you are in a need of his services. And I will see you guys same time, same place next week. Take care.